When the lights go out, the countdown starts. According to FEMA's 2025 Crisis Behavior Index, the average U.S. neighborhood turns violent after just 5 hours without power. By hour 9, home break-ins spike 600%. By day 3, police response times hit 0. Forget looters. It's your neighbors you need to fear. The same people who wave at you every morning will stalk you by flashlight the moment they realize your house still smells like food, or your phone still glows blue in the dark. The blackout won't bring chaos, it'll reveal it. These are the 10 things neighbors will kill for in a 3-day blackout. Miss even one, and you won't make it through the week. 10. You've got light discipline, but your face still glows at night. You turned off the porch light. You duct taped the cracks in your blackout curtains. You even unplugged the microwave because the green digital clock felt like a beacon. And yet, you forgot the most obvious giveaway in the dead of night. Your own face. Because in a world smothered in pitch-black silence, the faint blue glow of a phone screen on your cheek is the equivalent of a lighthouse in the apocalypse. Here's the reality most people miss. Blue spectrum light travels farther through darkness than any other wavelength. In physics, it's called Rayleigh scattering. In survival, it's called you just exposed your location to anyone within 100 yards. In the 2025 Florida hurricane grid test, participants were placed in blackout zones and monitored with low-light cameras. Guess how often screen glow revealed the location of an otherwise dark home? 92%. And it wasn't just windows. It was reflections, glints off metal trash bins, flickers on glass tabletops. Even light bouncing off eyeglasses was traceable from over 150 feet with basic night optics. But here's the kicker. Blue light triggers emotional reaction in the human brain. Studies from MIT in 2024 showed that under stress, humans are biologically drawn to moving blue lights in the dark. Why? It mimics safety, tech, rescue, hope. So when your neighbor, starving, dehydrated, armed with a crowbar, sees that flicker of a Netflix download lighting your chin like a ghost story, they will come for it. How to kill the glow. Step 1. Red light mode everything. Phone, tablet, watch. If your device doesn't have it, ditch it. Step 2. Use anti-glare shields. They're cheap, they work, and they slash 80% of peripheral bleed. Step 3. Face a wall. Always don't sit across from reflective surfaces. Step 4. No late-night screen time near windows, ever. And Step 5. Train with mirrors. If you can see yourself from across the room, so can someone outside. Because in a blackout, the last thing you want to be is the only face still glowing in the dark. 9. You've got a solar generator, and that panel on your roof is a tactical mistake. You thought you were slick. You installed that Jackery solar bank, maybe even a Bluetti, or an EcoFlow Delta 2. Quiet, clean, renewable. You're off-grid, right? Independent. Untouchable. Until your neighbor sees that shiny panel glinting on your roof at high noon, and realizes you've got power when they don't even have cold water. Let's be very clear. Solar panels are visual liabilities. In a world where every rooftop is dead silent and baking in heat, your solar hardware is a shimmering billboard that screams, "Prepared." A 2023 Israeli urban warfare study found that rooftop infrastructure, especially solar and HVAC, was used by insurgent groups to map and prioritize looting routes. Why? Because if you've got solar, you've got everything else. Refrigeration, radio, lighting, maybe even refrigeration for insulin or meat. That doesn't make you a neighbor. It makes you a logistical prize. And it's not just visibility. You'd be shocked how many people can hear the hum of an inverter through drywall. In the 2024 European grid collapse simulation in Munich, rooftop solar owners were looted 2.7 times more often than non-equipped homes, even when power was only marginal. It's not fair, but it's predictable. So what's the fix? First, get that panel off the roof. Mount low, on the ground, in camouflaged enclosures. Second, build fake HVAC clutter around it. Use broken appliances, metal scrap, or tarps to hide the tech. Third, only charge during overlap hours. That's dawn and dusk. Less sun, but also less visibility from drones or rooftops. Fourth, soundproof the inverter. Wrap it in foam board and bury it in a false wall. Fifth, share disinformation. Say your system failed. Show a burned-out panel you got at a salvage yard. Let the story die, because when the air is dead and the grid is down, Nothing cuts through the silence like the silent implication of electricity. And when desperate people see energy, they don't ask questions, they take it. 8. Your trash smells like chicken bones. And that means you're still eating meat. Trash is a language, and during a blackout it's louder than words, because when people walk past your bin and smell grease, spoiled meat, or cooked bones, they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about the meat that's not in their house. And worse, they're thinking about where you're keeping it. Don't think this is paranoia. In the 2024 Louisiana outage trial, FEMA operatives specifically trained to sniff for protein residue in trash streams identified well-fed homes with 87% accuracy. In poor neighborhoods in Argentina, black bag auditing during rolling brownouts led to the shocking conclusion that you could estimate daily caloric intake per household by weight and scent alone. And what topped the list of most dangerous giveaways? Chicken bones and fish skin. Why? Because they rot fast, they stink hard, and they linger. Meat trash, much refrigeration. Refrigeration, much power. Power, much stability. And stability in collapse is a red dot on your back. And it's not just smell. Crows, rats, raccoons, urban scavengers flock to meat-rich garbage, and people follow animals. A dog sniffing your trash pile is as loud as an alarm bell. Flies swarm, stains seep. Everything becomes a signal. Here's what to do instead. First, stop throwing out meat waste. Store it in sealed containers until you can bury it. 2. Compost in stages. Use layered pits with charcoal to mask odor. 3. Burn the scraps. Yes, even bones. Charred waste smells less. 4. Feed it to animals sparingly and away from the house. Don't let pet bowls sit near doors or windows. And 5. Start building your trash alibi. Fill visible bins with crushed cans, broken electronics, cardboard scraps. Make it look like you're out of food and breaking down useless junk. Even fake a scavenging trip. Bring back visibly worthless debris. Create a narrative. Because in blackout survival, you don't just protect your food. You protect the smell of what you threw away. 7. You look like you've slept, and that means you're still safe inside. Here's the detail almost no prepper talks about. You walk outside. You stretch, maybe yawn. You're calm, alert. Your eyes are focused. You don't look sick, dehydrated, panicked, or dazed. That's a problem, because in a grid-down environment, your face becomes your story. And if your face says rested, people assume you've still got a secure home, full belly, and warmth. Let's break it down. In the 2025 Seattle Blackout Resilience Study, sociologists tracked behavior in low-income districts. One of the top predictors of targeted violence. Facial signs of well-being. That's right. Even if a person said they were out of supplies, if they didn't look sleep-deprived, they were assumed to be lying. The human brain has evolved for micro-expression detection. Subtle tells like bright eyes, low cortisol lines, and firm posture scream stability. And that's exactly what others want to destroy or take. Here's something darker. In 2023, during the South African load-shedding riots, security footage showed crowds ignoring homes with barking dogs or loud music, but attacking homes where people looked calm. Why? Because calm is suspicious when nothing around you is okay. Because calm says comfort, and comfort says resources. You want to fix it? First, fake fatigue. Puff your eyes. Rub charcoal under your cheeks. Walk slow. Let your arms hang. Second, simulate distress. Argue loudly with family. Slam doors. Create the illusion of despair. Third, look unkempt. Mess your hair. Smear your shirt. Add ash to your face. You're acting and the stakes are lethal. Fourth, stagger your movement. Don't go outside at the same time each day. Don't look clean or confident. And fifth, hide the smile. That's a tough one. But if your kid cracks a joke and you laugh loud on the porch, you just told the street that things are okay at your house. And in collapse, okay means target. 6. Your plants are still alive. And that means you've got water. Let me guess. You've got a nice row of tomato buckets out back. Maybe some chives on the windowsill. A hydroponic bucket in the spare room or a tower garden in the corner of your kitchen. That's great, if it's May 2022. But in a total blackout on day 3, when everyone's pouring bottled water into cracked lips and fighting off migraines from dehydration, Greenery is a siren. And here's why. Plants don't lie. A home that still nurtures living greens, especially tropicals, vines, or shallow-rooted herbs, is broadcasting a single message. We have water to spare. And not just that. Those plants say, we're organized, we're stable, we're cultivating food, not just surviving. In the 2023 Venezuelan blackout mapping trials, Red Cross analysts tracking looter behavior discovered that homes with visible houseplants had a 3.4x higher rate of intrusion, not because the plants were valuable, but because they implied water security. One survivor recalled being cornered on his rooftop garden by neighbors who had been watching for 2 days. "We saw your mint," one of them said. That was it. The mint gave him away. The worst part? Even dead plants are a clue. A plant that was alive and is now wilted with damp soil tells the same story. You were watering recently, and in collapse math, recent water use equals current capacity. So here's what you do. First, move all green life inside. Nothing on windowsills, porches, or patios. Second, dirty the pots. Smear them with dried soil. Make them look long dead from the outside. Third, cover the soil. Cardboard, rags, even foil. Hide moisture levels. Fourth, choose hardy, gray water-tolerant plants only. Moringa, aloe, kale, and dandelion greens survive on scraps. Fifth, ration even appearances. Don't let vines grow up the window. Don't show blossoms. Don't show life. Because if your neighbor's kids haven't had a sip in 24 hours, and they walk past your house and smell basil or cilantro, you're not a gardener anymore. You're a threat with roots. 5. Your generator isn't running, but the fridge still is. You were smart. You didn't leave your generator running like a chainsaw at midnight. You insulated your battery bank. You even hid the panels behind scrap siding. But there's one thing you forgot. Appliances have signatures, and the smell, sound, and behavior of powered refrigeration. It leaks everywhere. Here's what most don't realize. Cool air leaks produce a scent profile. No joke. The contrast between ambient temps and artificial cold pulls condensation, chemical traces, and airflow into your home's microclimate. In the 2024 Puerto Rico blackouts, thermal drones detected active refrigeration units by monitoring humidity and scent plumes around homes. How? The Freon trace, ozone signature, and microcondensation fogs. It's science, and you can't smell it. But your neighbor's pit bull can. And your neighbor's brother with the Army surplus FLIR scanner definitely can. And then there's the giveaway inside. Noise signatures. You open the fridge for 8 seconds. That's 3 clicks, 2 motor hums, and the unmistakable vacuum whoosh of a sealed unit. You think your wall muffles it? Think again. In dead silence, that sound carries, especially if your house is one of the only ones not reeking of spoiled milk. And even if you don't run a full fridge, a freezer chest in the garage still pops, a mini fridge still clicks. That hum is rhythmic, and rhythm breeds curiosity. So here's your fix. First, don't plug everything in at once. Run refrigeration in 20-minute cycles every 8 hours to minimize sound and scent. Second, soundproof the space. Wrap fridge walls with emergency blankets, foam, and carpet. Third, double seal all doors. Add weather stripping to muffle air release. Fourth, camouflage the smell. Burn trash. Run vinegar-soaked cloths near the door. Boil spices if needed. And fifth, practice darkness discipline. Never open the fridge at night. Ever. Because in a blackout, a humming appliance might as well be a heartbeat, and predators follow heartbeats. 4. You haven't lost any weight, and that means you're eating well. This is going to hurt a little, but if your face hasn't sunk, your eyes aren't bloodshot, your shirt still fits, and your belt hasn't moved a notch after 72 hours with no power, you're marked. See, in survival collapse, the most underrated giveaway isn't a sound, smell, or flicker of light. It's your own body. Because when everyone else on the block is eating 600 calories a day, dropping water weight, and walking around like ghosts, and you still look like you slept, showered, and had breakfast, that's a trigger. Here's the raw intel. In the 2023 Polish refugee corridor crisis, NGO observers reported visible body fat retention and upright posture as primary markers of supply-bearing individuals. Those who still looked normal were assumed to be hiding food or meds. Some were forcibly detained by mobs looking for insulin or rice. Doesn't matter if you were actually rationing. In perception warfare, your gut is your giveaway. And guess what? Kids are worse. Chubby cheeks, bouncing energy, loud footsteps. That's not innocence. That's proof. That's a digital billboard saying, our pantry isn't empty yet. So here's how you go gray. First, change your wardrobe. Oversized, worn clothes make you look sunken. Belt tight, then layer over it. Second, slouch. Carry water jugs for effect. Move slow. Look weak. Third, dirty your skin. Charcoal under the eyes. Grease on the hands. Grime makes you relatable. Fourth, time your exposures. Never be outside during meal hours. People count smoke, but they also watch movement. Fifth, share a false story. Complain loud. Talk about losing weight. Say you're down to your last crackers. Act. Because in blackout warfare, your own body is surveillance. Don't let it tell the truth. 3. You still smell like food, and that means you're still eating. Forget the sight of steam or the sound of sizzling pans. The smell of digestion is just as deadly. Because in a dead city, even the human body's aroma changes depending on nutrition. You skip meals for 48 hours, your breath turns acidic. You go 3 days without protein, your skin chemistry shifts toward ammonia and ketones. And guess what? Anyone who hasn't eaten can smell the difference. They can smell your survival. After the 2024 California wildfire blackouts, FEMA behavioral analysts discovered something unnerving. People could identify fed versus unfed individuals by scent alone 70% of the time when blindfolded. They didn't know how, they just knew. Stress amplifies olfactory awareness. Hunger sharpens it. It's instinct. That means your post-meal breath, your sweat, even your garbage is a confession. Cooking odor is only the first layer. Metabolic odor is the second. If your neighbors haven't eaten in 2 days and you walk outside smelling faintly of fat and salt, it's over. You've told them you're eating something. How to kill the trail. First, fast strategically. Eat once a day, at night, indoors. That flattens scent cycles. Second, detoxify the air. Burn vinegar, coffee grounds, or citrus peels after meals to overwrite volatile compounds. Third, use oil masks. Wipe hands and face with olive oil. It traps and neutralizes fatty molecules. Fourth, brush with baking soda, not mint. Mint is luxury. Baking soda is camouflage. Fifth, sweat deliberately. Do 10 minutes of labor outside to smell equally rank as everyone else. Because in a blackout, nobody trusts the neighbor who doesn't stink. And the minute you smell like dinner, you've just become it. 2. Your windows don't fog. And that means you've got heat. People imagine warmth as invisible. It's not. It's physics. Condensation is a proof of life. When every other window on your block is opaque with cold breath and trapped humidity, and yours are crystal clear, that clarity is evidence. It means the interior temperature matches the outside air. No one's breathing inside. But the reverse, fogged windows that don't freeze, means heat, insulation, and energy. That's the jackpot. During the 2023 Quebec grid failure, emergency response drones used infrared overlays to find elderly residents in distress. Guess who else used that tech a week later? Looters. They inverted the algorithm. Hunting warmth. They weren't looking for victims anymore. They were looking for working generators and propane heaters. Out of 400 incidents logged, 312 occurred in the homes that glow just 5 degrees above ambient. Even without tech, people see the difference. Steam venting from roof gaps, dry snow melt patterns, condensation timing at sunrise, all of it maps activity. A teenager with binoculars can chart which homes are alive in one morning. Fix it now. First, balance your heat. Run warmth in pulses. Heat. Shut down. Cool. Repeat. Second, redirect exhaust. Pipe through underground vents or into sheds, never straight up. Third, fog your own glass. Spray diluted glycerin or wipe soap film. Makes condensation permanent. Hides cycles. Fourth, darken window edges. Blackout curtains aren't just for light. They hide infrared scatter. Fifth, ventilate at dawn. Let 1 hour of visible breath pour out so you blend with everyone else's misery. Because in a silent, frozen suburb, warmth is light you can't see, and light, any light, draws hunters. 1. You still look hopeful, and that means you haven't broken yet. This is the one nobody prepares for, the hardest hell to fake. the one that separates survivors from targets long before the first can of food is gone. Hope. You can hide your scent. You can muffle your generator. You can smear ash on your face and limp when you walk. But you can't fully erase what your eyes give away. The spark that says, we're going to make it. In normal life, that optimism is strength. In collapse, it's provocation. When sociologists studied footage from the 2022 Mariupol siege, they found a consistent pattern in civilian raids. Attackers went first for people who looked composed, not rich, not loud, just confident, because confidence signals control, and control implies supplies. It's a survival paradox. The calmest person in the room is always the most dangerous, so others destroy them before they can dominate. During the 2024 FEMA human behavior simulations, volunteers tasked with rationing under Blackout stress rated hopeful expressions as untrustworthy. They didn't mean to. It's tribal instinct. When the tribe starves, the one who smiles must be hiding meat. So here's how you vanish emotionally. First, neutralize your tone. Speak slow, quiet, monotone. No reassurance. Second, fake despair. Mutter about shortages. Shake your head when someone mentions rescue. Third, break posture. Hunch shoulders, hang arms. Optimism is physical. Kill it. Fourth, plant visual cues of suffering. Empty cans on the porch. Torn blankets in the window. Let them believe you've cracked. And last, never inspire. Don't give hope to others. Hope spreads, then mutates into jealousy. You can rebuild morale later, when order returns, because in the darkest days of a blackout, survival isn't about food, light, or warmth. It's about becoming invisible not just to the eye, but to envy itself. You think this was just a list. It's a warning, because by the time your neighbor knocks, it's already too late. They've watched your windows, they've heard your dog, they've seen the flicker of your screen at 2 a.m., and they know you've got what they don't. This blackout isn't temporary. It's a test, and only the invisible survive. So vanish, shut it down, seal the cracks, because the grid may come back on some day, but the people who turned against you, they never do.